Hello, friend. This is Legal Design Thinking in Real Life, a weekly live provided to you by Lawyers Design School, and you are warmly welcome with us today. My name is Hannele Koronen, and I'm the founder of Lawyers Design School. And today I'm happy to be here with Pilvi Alopaeus, as she is joining us as a guest today, and she is a pioneer and a true powerhouse that most people in the legal design space probably knows, as she is the builder of the Legal Design Summit, the largest legal design event in the world. And now the Legal Design Summit will be back this year, next fall, yay. We thought that it would be a great timing to hear about the story behind the summit. So with Pilvi, we will be talking about all things Legal Design Summit and also what it's like to build a legal design movement. And by the way, if you have any questions for Pilvi or want to join the conversation, the chat is open, so jump in there and keep the discussion going. Hello, Pilvi, and welcome.
Hello, Hannele. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. It's been we've known each other for a long time, and I admire your journey in legal design. It's amazing, and I love these lives that you have been doing. Such a service to the community. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Are you, by the way, in Helsinki right now? I usually ask my guests where are they joining us from.
Yes, I am actually here in Helsinki at the moment. So it's really great. I work in a Nordic company, and sometimes I'm in Oslo or Stockholm as well. But I live in Helsinki at the moment, and it's a lovely spring day. Such an amazing day.
Sun is shining. Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Hey, but let's get started. Maybe we'll do a brief presentation to get started. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Pilvi, as you know. I have been working in my daytime as a privacy expert or privacy lawyer for a long time. I think I counted like 7 years, and I've been in law firms and consultancy also already like before graduating, and then finally when I graduated continued that as well. Also I've been in-house at Google, and at the moment I'm in a Nordic company called Schibsted, that is a media and online marketplaces company with some financial adventures as well. But and I love it there. I love my journey, and as a legal design advocate, I never say that I'm like a legal design professional, because you are. I wouldn't say that I am. I'm an advocate and the biggest fan. And as our summit's first CFO says, the chief hype officer of legal design. So that's
chief hype officer.
Chief hype officer.
Brilliant.
That's just me, and my journey started in 2016 when Antti Innanen, the legendary Antti from he was then at Dotter and now of course Dot, and Johanna Rantanen and Jaakko Väänänen from Hellon told me about something called legal design, and I was hooked. I was like, this is important. I have no idea what it is, but I love it. This speaks to me so well. And that was my journey with that. The legal design has been with me ever since, and in different ways. And I think it's like I try to use the human-centric design thinking in everything I do. I think it's so important for privacy as well, to my work, but also in so many other ways. And the most important thing that it has done to me is like open my eyes to so many new ways of seeing what we do and question things. Is this really what we want to do? Could we do it differently? And yeah, love it. But that's me, basically.
Thank you. So you have a legit day job, and then you are activist by night.
Absolutely. one of a stakeholder colleague just said, like, you seem like a person who is really like a good and tough lawyer during the day, and you ensure that we're compliant and do everything, but then when it hits the 5 o'clock you become a total anarchist. And I was like, where did you get this? But not so
Sounds
far
about
from the truth,
right.
maybe. Yeah. I'm a kind anarchist, a constructive one, I hope.
Oh, that's perfect. Hey, tell me, there might be some people watching who don't know what Legal Design Summit is. Can you give a short intro to the summit? What is it?
Absolutely. So Legal Design Summit, as it is today, it is the largest legal design event in the world still, as far as we know. Let us know if we're not. If someone has a big one, we're happy to give credit to who deserves it. It is organized by something called Legal Design Summit ry, which means Registered Association in Finnish. So a 100% non-profit organization. And it is something that doesn't happen yearly. Every summit can be the last summit that there will ever be one. It is organized when the community comes together and is like, we need summit. Now is the time to have it. And then somehow miraculously it happens. It takes a lot of work. It's not easy, but it's a weird thing that comes along, and you never know. This could be the last one ever, and if it is, every time it's such an event, so it becomes something that people remember. And I think what is different is it's completely free of charge. So tickets are free, but if you do not show up or give your ticket to someone else, you can always cancel the ticket for, I think it's a month before. So then you have to pay a bit. It's 150 euros, or if you're a student, 50 euros. And that is only so that we have heard so many complaints from people that, what if I don't get the ticket? So everyone who can make. But of course, it's only meant to create a better community, not to hunt anyone down, like, give us the money. So that's the
and I
idea.
think that's super cool that it's free admission and that it's a non-profit event. So it's this year is actually 2-day event, and then there is the Brain Factory before that.
Absolutely, this is the first time we're 2 days event. It was our senior advisor Sonia Koya's idea, and for a few all jumped into it. We were like, great, let's go big and go, let's do that. And Brain Factory is a 3-day long workshop where people come together. Usually we have like 50 people coming in. We usually have like hundreds of applications, and we try to pick as diverse people as possible, so from every side of the world and every different backgrounds, and create teams of 4 to 5 where there's like, it can be a student, it can be a CEO, vice president, or professor in the same team, and every team will have their own legal design expert. Maybe you, Henna, I don't know. Would you like to? Here, I'm putting you a little bit on the spot. Let's discuss more later. That was unfair of me. But this year we have, for example, Margaret Hagen coming in again, and you will have your own coach. And then we have real cases. And this year, I think we're getting one case from the court as well. Last year, we have some ministries, and we have a Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Environment, and law firms, and legal tech companies, etc., giving cases, and it's a great fun. It's not a competition; it's more like experience. So you learn by doing, and one of the most important things from there is also to understand the power of diversity, and that is one thing that I've loved from people who have been in Brain Factories, that they have really realized how important all kind of diversity is, regarding backgrounds and what we have studied, what we have worked on, and also age and everything. So that's really, really great.
That's so cool. And that's so cool that there is this Brain Factory portion, so that it's actually actionable, and as you say, learn by doing. On top of that, which is more like keynotes and speeches, and of course that is interactive event as well. Those two jam-packed days, but then there is this actionable part as well, where you can do these real design projects together with other people.
Yeah, it's great fun. And, you can come if you know a little bit about legal design, or you have never heard of it and you want to try it. It's more the merrier. Just apply and join in. I don't think we have application live yet, but soon it will be, I hope. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. But hey, can you take us back to the origins of the summit? You said that it was started in 2016, and there were Antti Innanen, and then
Johanna Rantanen and Jaakko Väänänen.
Yes.
Yeah. So how it was started was actually that Johanna Rantanen, Antti Innanen, and Jaakko Väänänen had came together, and they were like they had found they were Googling, and they realized there's legal design, and they found Margaret Hagen, and they were really excited, and then they really were thinking like, we need to have an event for this, so we can invite speakers and create more of awareness in Finland for this. And I knew Antti and Johanna had found Dotter then, and I knew one of the partners there, or a couple of the partners there, and then there were more, and then Antti, I think, was the one who called me and explained this, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. Yeah, I'll help you. Let's get volunteers.
I don't know what it is, but I'm in.
I'm in. Yeah, I trust him. Like, Antti is the one of the person who, whatever idea he has, like, I'm in. Like, he's such a visionary, and I'm a great fan of him. He's just amazing, and I trust his vision always. So that's amazing. So that started, and then I called Kimmo Nuotio, who used to be the dean of law school in Helsinki, because we needed the space, and I knew that Kimmo was someone who really believed in the future of law, in looking at the law in different ways, and he has this amazing empathy and respect for like human-centric design thinking and etc. And he had been an amazing support of students, and of course there's been a great deans others as well, but Kimmo, of course, for me was a very special supporter, and he was hooked in. He came to Dotter, I remember, and then we all talked to him, and he was like, let's do this, we got to do this. And so it was organized in 2016. It was still like a really corporate event, not like, I think it had quite small fee, but still fee to come in, the classic one. It was a really nice and really good event, and really lovely, and great colors, and a lot of the founding stones were sort of laid those years. And then in 2017, it was great. We had like, I think, about 300 people. I might be lying, but still like a good turnout in 2016 for a thing that most people were like, yeah, they have never heard of, even if they recognize that they have been doing this whenever they are working with law, but giving name to something, it creates a meaning for it, and you can put research money on it, you can put events on it, and etc. So that was great. And then in 2017 came, and Antti called me and was like, so what do you think? Like, should we do this bigger? And I was like, yeah, we should do this bigger. And he was like, yeah, would you like to be the CEO if Dotter and Helen would back it up, and you would get your team? I already had a team in 2016, like amazing group of people, volunteers helping. And we help you, we support you, and we will be, of course, part of the team, and let's get this started. And what an amazing, it could have never happened without that support from Dotter and Helen and from these people. Like, the legal design community really owes, legal design summit community owes a lot to these people who believed in it. And so I called to I think like 15 of my best friends, and they're used to me having crazy ideas, and I was like, how about we create the largest legal design event in the world? And they were like, yeah, okay, why not? And then they asked, what is legal design? What are we actually doing? Why is this important? Like, what are we doing? And it was great, because I had just been doing my volunteers in Slush and etc. So I was kind of had that Slush hype that anything is possible, that Slush has really shown.
For those who doesn't know, Slush is a event in a big tech investor event, in a startup event in Helsinki that is organized by Aalto-IS folks, so students basically, and it's such an inspiring thing. So that happened, and then we kind of made it. It became kind of global thing, and there was a lot of people, and it was still University of Helsinki was supporting, and also something called the Legal Tech Lab of University of Helsinki was supporting. And the funny thing is that Tech Lab was born out of the first summit, so it was great for them to kind of now support that. So it's nice kind of love story there, and it was really great because it still had like tickets that cost money, which was of course like made it a little bit corporate event still, but that was how it was funded, and we of course needed to fund it somehow, and yeah, it was really, really good. But then it was done, and we still started to think like there's something there. And even if we had focused in 2017, we already back then realized, we all kind of discussed about it, that this needs to be a movement, this needs to be something bigger, this needs to be a community. It can't be just an event. Like, event is just an event. It needs to be something else. That's what we tried to make already, but we realized that that's not enough. Like, we need to have it in that way. And then Henna Tolvanen, Jukka Linna, Mika Viljanen, myself, and Henna Tolvanen, we all came together and decided like there needs to be another summit. And I think it was Nina or Henna who originally was like, it has to be free. It has to be free. The only way to make it community is that it is free event. Like, it has to be free. So it cannot be that someone cannot come in because of money. Of course, the travel costs are a lot, but still, like, it has to come in that way. And then we also made the decision, which is, I know, like a little bit counter reactive to that, is that we won't ever go web, like online streaming, because we also decided that this has to be the place where people actually come together. There's amazing webinars, amazing. We have no skills of doing that. We don't know how to do that well. Like, it's so much harder to do that. So we were like, we will always be the place where people actually meet and come together, because there is something to that as well. And that was a great success. And we wanted to do it in the University of Helsinki, but that year they had renovations going. So the city of Helsinki stepped up and they gave us their celebration hall, which is from the house of the city of Helsinki.
Pretty nice space.
Yeah, it was really, really nice from them. And it was next to the presidential palace and etc. It was great. It was great fun. And I think it really was kind of refounded. We kind of say that it was refounded that day when we decided to go non-profit and free. And I remember when we posted it to online, we got such an amazing feedback. Everyone was like, yes, this is exactly what we wanted. And I think that was the moment when community really took it as their own. And it became like a community's event and not one's event. And of course, I'm personally like unhealthy attachment to it. But it is not like ours. It's the communities, and that was really great. Then we were thinking several after 2019. We were thinking several ways of, should we go to do an international one in America? Should we go different continents? What we should do? Then we decided that actually, no, we want to keep it in Helsinki. But then just when we started to plan this next one, pandemic happened. And that was really devastating. That was really, really devastating for us. And it took many, many years until from 2019, not many, many years, but many, many years from Summit Life. And 2022, it was myself, my Noora Rissanen, Julia Lehtinen, Sonia Kojo, and Malin Mannikka, who came together and we were like, okay, we will take this. We will see what we can do. And either we were talking that either we will have a funeral together and donate all the money that's like something that's left to keep the lights on the website. We will donate that and have a funeral, or then we decide to do it once more. And we decided do it once more. And so many people joined in. We had a volunteer call for volunteers on. We had call for speakers on. Still, if you want to join as a volunteer, someone is asking as well.
Someone is asking.
Just send. I think we have a volunteership open. If not, just send me a message and I will connect you with the Maria, who is our people lead, and call for speakers. If you want to pitch us a speech, just send us a message through that form, and let's see. We have an amazing people working on the program, and excited to see what happens. The goal is to have the most diverse event and really celebrate diversity this year. And I hope we can make it happen. But that's the really bouncy, weird explanation of the history of the summit. It's weird when you have been in the middle of it and so much has happened. So whenever someone asks, I don't have this like cohesive story to tell. It always depends, but I remember.
It kind of describes the event in a way also, that it's kind of organically grown to what it is today, and like there is no like it happens every year and this is the format, that it keeps evolving when the movement grows and people develop it further. And I think that there is something special about Legal Design Summit that makes people like these raving fans, at least those who have participated in it. And I've heard so many people have their own personal stories, and I have one myself on their first experience in Legal Design Summit and how it kind of shook their world. What do you think? What's going on there? What makes Legal Design Summit so special and unique?
I've tried to think so many times what it is, but I'm puzzled about it myself, because so many people who haven't been even at the summit, they come and they have sparkle in their eyes and they're like, wait, this needs to happen. This is awesome. So to me, it feels like the special thing is that the community took it as its own. Like it became like a community's thing, community's legend, and something that everyone feels ownership of. And that's kind of how I feel how it is. But I think one of the reasons why that has been able to do is already in 2017 we made the decision. It was a tough decision to make, because back then it was still like a semi-commercial event, that there will never be selling booths at the summit. And that was because we really wanted to encourage not people to sell each other stuff, like not come to pitch. And we also decided that there will not be ever pitches to sell something to you on the stage. And we really wanted to, this is the one place where we try not to sell things, but we try to talk about the ideas. And you can leave your jacket out, you can take your necktie away and loosen it up and really feel safe to be challenging your own mind, to discuss with people, and all this. Of course, it's possible because we have an amazing sponsors who want to sponsor the event, and I love that these amazing sponsors have also real kind of supports the idea that there needs to be one place where we all come together to discuss the ideas, and I think that's extremely valuable and amazing. And I think that is one of the things. And another thing is, I think, is that we don't make a change between money and speaking. Of course, sometimes like someone who sponsors us might end up on a stage as well, but they're never considered in that way. So money won't get you anywhere. So it's more like, of course, it's get you to support the event, which is like, without that, there won't be a community event and the community won't survive. But more like, we want to find the best ideas. We want to bring, of course, the people who are the big names, so you can hear what they have been doing, because they usually have a good reason why they're the big names, but also the new ideas, something that hasn't been brought up, something that is somewhere that nobody heard of. And so many of these stories have borne out of people meeting, people hearing new stories. And the same with the Brain Factory. Like a lot of people have felt that it changed their lives because they really felt not lives. That's a little bit too much, but
in
professional
some
life.
way, professional lives, yeah,
Professional
exactly.
lives, because I think it's a safe space to try things, and I think especially us lawyers, and it's not a lawyer event, but us lawyers especially, we are really, because our work is we have to be as perfect as possible. When we make a mistake, it can be a terrible mistake, and someone might end up in jail because of that. Someone may lose a lot of money, and people might lose their jobs because of it. So there's a lot of pressure of being perfect, and that is put into us already in law school. And I think that it's really, really hard to be creative in legal area, because because we are always ready to protect. We are protecting ourselves, we're protecting everyone. We don't put our guard down. And I think John Cleese has an amazing like creativity for management or something like that on YouTube that I always tell people to watch, because it's the best speech on creativity I've ever seen, where he kind of explains that we have to be able to put our working selves to off and be the child again, to feel psychologically safe to play. Just to play and challenge ourselves without feeling that we're challenged as a person, but we're challenging our minds to think different things. And I think that's something I think we have been successful in previously. And I'm not. It's a combination of many things, but I haven't yet cracked the code how it became what it is. We're just trying to, and it also creates a little bit pressure for us as well, because we're really like, at the same time, we don't want to break the spell and ruin it for the community for making something. But I think because it's still like at the end of the day, it's a free event. Be happy with it. You get the free great event. The people are doing it. The volunteers are making. They are. I can't even, like, the way they are creating this event. I don't do that much anymore. I'm more like guiding from the back. I'm just admiring them, and I'm like, wow, like what you guys do is much better than I could have ever done anything. And that's really special. So I think this year will be a little bit different. Every year is a little bit different. And let's see what it goes. But yeah, sorry for rambling.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. I've used the term movement when I've described Summit to people who have not been there before. And I noticed that you use the term as well, that you kind of set out to create the movement, that this needs to be more than an event, and it has become a movement. What do you think? What makes a movement? It's a difficult question, but can you come up with something?
I think movement is something. I think what a person or a group of people can do, or some, is to believe in something. I think that is how movements starts. There's a group of people. Was it Margaret Mead who said, like, a group of people who decide to do something? But it's like a group of people who really, really believe in something. And it can be something crazy. Like, we were 2016 and 2017, we were laughed at. Like, we were laughed at. People thought we were insane. And well, now it is not. But you have to have that kind of crazy belief in something. And it has to be something that actually resonates with people. It has to be that can be used for terrible things, as we know, but it can also be used for good things when it touches the people. And I think it needs to be something that gives them a feeling both that I'm part of something, but also that this is something from my own life. I have personally been thinking this way as well. So those two things needs to match. And I think it's kind of that you yell in the forest like we do in Finland, and then the forest responds even louder. And I think you have to yell it the right way. You have to yell on top of a mountain, something that really, really resonates. If it's something that people don't believe in, they won't pick it up. I don't think anyone in the world can manipulate the community to if it doesn't resonate to the folks at all. So I think that's how kind of movements are born. They're born out of communities. And I think there was like great legal tech community already. Like, legal tech community existed, and there were legal hackers, and it's sort of like they were amazing. But legal design people were really like kind of scattered. there and here and there. And I think that there was already a will to have a community. Like there was already a need to kind of that, I want to talk to you about this crazy idea. Like I want to get my peer support, because we were so scattered everywhere. Everyone was interested in it, or professionals. So I think it was more like a need to have a friend to talk things over, and to see like, what have you done? What have you done? And I think that has created this movement. And I think that has kind of created it the same way that when you are talking with people, and when I'm inspired to something, you become inspired by that if it touches you, and someone else again, and that's how it kind of moves. So that's my philosophy on how movements are born. It's the community that happens. I think it existed already. It just needed the place to communicate. And that's...
there were people. There were people, and I think that there has always been people who have been thinking like human centricity and how to make law more accessible and all that. But somehow there were people maybe thinking about this, and then they found each other. Because I remember my personal story from 2017 was to hear Margaret Hagan using the words like imagination and empathy and creativity, and the hall was crowded with these corporate lawyers and law firm partners, and everybody was like, yes, and it's like, this is amazing. Like, that we can agree on these kind of topics that are not usually associated with lawyers and law and legal services.
Exactly. And I love that you brought that up, because it's exactly like, people often are like, when we started, people were sort of like, law has to be hard things. Hard are the things that people take seriously. But I think the tech world especially showed that design is actually a thing. Apple is nothing without this. It's a design company, basically. It is what it is, because you never have to use a manual when you use an iPhone. And you can, I don't have an opinion which is the best, but I do admire that design thinking in that. And same in probably all mobile phones. So I think that kind of the tech and design kind of realized the power of soft values, because people actually, the heart snaps, soft bends. And I think that's what people have realized, that if you really want to move people and touch them, even in simple negotiations, emotions are the one you go, because we can't put off now I go way too theoretical, but I'm like a big fan of Aristotle. I'm like a big fan of Aristotle, who believes that there's Phronesis kind of animal side of us, and then there's the kind of divine side of us, which is more the theoretical thinking, and then there's the animal side of us. And I don't think that they can exist without each other. I think we cannot put off our, human side. It doesn't happen. We think we might be something called rational. I think even what's rational is like, we just define something to be rational, and we don't even know how our brains work 100%. We have no idea. So
we just come up with the analysis afterwards.
Exactly. So that's like, and I think that's starting to be used in legal as well. And I think that, for example, great negotiators, the kind of hardcore legal people who go to courts and do all the hard stuff, like, I think the really excellent ones are actually really good at these soft values. Like, they're really, really good at empathy. They're really, really good at understanding human centricity. And why not research it? Why not to make it better in that way? So I think it's courage to say that we don't have to always be hard, that actually to be a whole human is a better one. And it's foolish not to improve everything we can just because of something old and traditional. I love some meme said that tradition is a peer pressure from dead people, and that's basically how I see it. So why not go forward?
There is the anarchist Pilvi.
I know.
Oh, but that's perfect. But hey, I'm sure that it has not always been easy to build this movement, and there has been, and you already mentioned that people were laughing at you in those early years. Yeah. What have been the biggest challenges, and how did you navigate these I don't know, naysayers and when you were doing this job?
I think the biggest challenge were definitely to kind of not to convince people, but more like I don't think we never needed to convince anyone that legal design was important, because the community was there. We were more like a platform, the forum to come together. So I don't think we needed to convince anyone, but it was more for us to have faith in it. And I think that is the hardest thing, to have faith when everybody is laughing at you, to have faith in it, to believe in it. And I know there's like the Shark Tank where there's this someone who always says like, take it back to the barn and shoot it or something, like if it's a bad idea. Of course, there are always like bad ideas that you shouldn't believe in it. But you also have to, when you know that it's going to work and you're ready to improve it, you're ready to take input and make it better. And I think that's the hardest thing. And that's and do stick into it, but do at the same time, like, I think it's important also to listen, like if you're trying to make a fish climb a tree, like if you're trying silly things, because sometimes we become blinded. I've so many times during the summit as well been blinded by stupid ideas that I'm just, it has to be this way. And then someone says like, no, hear me out. So it's kind of balance between that and have it's being good in balancing between believing your thing and taking input, and not taking every input. Not all the input is good. Not being able to say like, understand where they come from. Sometimes it's just anger or disbelief. So don't give value to all the input. So that's the key to it. To know how to give value to which input, I guess, and then be crazy enough to believe in it. And so many things in like the big things, they just happen. It's weird for me for when people are sometimes like, you can't make, so many people told us you can't make it happen. And I was like, I've never understood that, because everything starts from few people believing in crazy shit. Like, I'm sorry, things like, like that's how anything big starts. Someone has to be the first. I always say like, even my greatest idols like Obama has diarrhea. Even he is a human. Like,
Yeah,
how hard can it be? Like how hard, what's the worst that can happen? Some people laugh at you. Of course, don't put your whole house and everything you have on something that is silly, but
do I remember correctly that, was it the 2019 summit, or what started with that one tweet that you sent out that this will be the biggest legal design event or something? There was one short tweet, and then it's like, this is the vision that we have, and and the rest is history.
Yeah, it was like 2017. We were 2017 when I had called my friends, and they're all amazing people, and deserve all the credit for the summit and kind of have the ownership of it. So we were sitting back to my student apartment's floor, and we were like, let's gonna do this. And then we just created a Twitter account and sent that out, and somehow it was picked up. And we were like, well, now we say it, now we have to do it. And I think in Ireland they have the saying that you throw your cap over the wall, so you have to follow. So
exactly.
Yeah, we were like, and then after sending, we were like, now maybe it's a good moment to start learning what is legal design. And I think one of the reasons why we have been super like good at this is that also these people who are the kind of cornerstones of the community, there are a lot of those people. Margaret is of course one, Kat, Dan, Michael, and they have believed in us and been supportive of us, and that has been really, really great. And I know 2017 we were losing faith at some point, and amazing Justin North, who many probably know, he actually called me and was like, now tell me what this is. And then I explained, and it was one of the best phone calls of my life, really, because when I was explaining to him about Summit, I got my faith back in it for a momentary lose. And then I was like,
thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justice, definitely. So I've always want to remember that it was very kind of him to find us and to support us. And again, it was more like people found us as much as we were yelling out and people answered.
Yeah, but
So
that's the thing as well, that when you have these challenges and you are maybe losing your faith at some point, that's the important part, that you are not there alone, that there are other people who will then, you as a community can then kind of carry through these difficult times.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have your friends on your team who support it. Like I can tell, like anyone more summit this year can also tell it. I have been the person in many situations where I've been, should we just cancel? Like all of us lose faith at some point. And then there's like, all the others are like, nah, you if you're losing faith, you jump on my faith. I give you believe in this. So it's been like it's human. It's really, when you really care about something, then it's normal. But it's important that you have people around you who as well like give it that back. I don't believe in kind of Jesus kind of leading where one person just gives the motor to everything. Of course, it's natural that there is sometimes in that kind of situations, but it's not very sustainable. It's more like everyone needs to support each other, and when one loses believe in it, the next one supports. We change who's kind of who's being the leading horse. So that's it's a great thing. And all these people I mentioned who have been part of Summit, and everyone who I didn't mention deserves the credit for it, because each and every person has been the reason that there is a Summit. I can promise you that. And sometimes one of the reasons why I do really, really rarely I go out and speak about legal design and take part in events is because, first of all, I don't feel that I'm a legal design expert. I'm a legal design advocate and fangirl. But the second is that I don't want to take the credit for a legal design summit, which often happens. I don't want it to be personified with me, because I did not do it. It was the whole team, and yeah, but yeah, that's it's really important to us that it's the team that we put forward, and also that it's the people who come to the event. We don't have the money to pay travel costs to people, and so every speaker comes with their own money, which is like, we're so grateful for it. So they're all kind of sponsoring the event. So it is truly like a community thing. If we really hope we would win lottery and get like support to everyone, but maybe one day. The problem with money is also like we have quite limited what we ask from sponsorships, and the reason is that in the legal world, we all know that these conferences sometimes work in that way, that when you give like 50,000, you expect something back from it. You expect, and I think that's reasonable. I don't think that that's bad. I don't think that's bad. I think that's how it works. It's normal, and I think it's fair from us to take like a lot smaller amounts. Our top, what we offer, is $6,000, and it used to be $5,000, but well, life has changed since 2019, as we all know. And we also have, I think, $4,000 and $2,000. So anyone can. It should be accessible for and we don't tell outside who gave what. That like. So it's more, of course, there's a lot of goodies that you get with that. It's not just the sponsoring; you get special things, but you don't. How to say? We don't sell the influence. It's more like you get to support it and be part of it, which is insane. If you go to our website and see all the communities that will be added in this spring and summer, you know from every one of them that they have great values and what they believe in, and what they're doing is for you guys, and they are really special. We love them. We try to take good care of them.
Hey, before we go, a few words about the future. What's in the cards for Legal Design Summit in the future?
Well, let's see. So this is the 2023 edition, where we have the amazing folks running it, and I think it's going to be
super amazing. And then let's see. We don't know. This could be the last summit ever. But I hope that every year, that's my wish to the community, that every year it becomes more community's property, community's ownership. And whenever the next time the community feels that there is a need for one, you can always find me. And I know if I'm no longer in the board, I certainly will know who is, and I will help to get the ball rolling. But it's I'm looking forward to see where that goes, and how community accepts it. So that's really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But
and really looking forward to
done.
the September's event. So that's coming. And where can people find more information about the summit and maybe connect with you if they want?
Anyone, if you ever want to connect with me, just send me an email or find me in social media. That's the easiest way. My email is clogged always. But sorry, it's our website is a great place to get tickets. So I think we have some left yet. They are quite running out soon. So if you still want it, go and get one. We're trying to find as many tickets as we can, so as many people can come in. So we're adding as we find space to get people in, and join in. That's how you get to know and follow us on social media, because our amazing social media wizards are putting out information a lot. I've seen even memes coming. Like, they are so brilliant what they have been doing. I'm just in a site and following and putting this emoji and everything. And someone already added,
there's the website legaldesignsummit.com.
Yeah.
So there you can find all the information.
They are so brilliant. Like, but I'm just their fangirl. That's my job.
Hey, thank you so much for joining today, Pilvi. It was such a pleasure to talk to you about the summit, and we'll definitely be in touch, and we'll see each other at least on the summit and with everyone else who's coming there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting us, and we're so happy for everyone, and you, Hannele, to come to summit, and for everyone else to come to summit. So it's see you there, and when you see me there, if you recognize me, come and say hi, and I want to meet you all. And the first thing I will say to you all, thank you for coming, because just by coming, you're creating the community and helping it to be alive, and we're just the service of you. You're the owners of it. We just facilitate it for you guys. So take every advantage you can, and thanks to all the supporters and non-profit supporters and sponsors who we are talking and who have been joining. They and every single speaker who are coming. Like, thanks to everyone.
Great, thank you. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody, and see you next week. Bye-bye.